Senator John Barrasso joins us right now, the Senate Republican Conference Chair. Senator, where do you think infrastructure stands? Are we closer to a measure that has bipartisan support or not?
Well, you know, Neil, the devil is always in the details, and I want to see if this has something that actually is true infrastructure, and then how are we going to pay for it? I would be very interested in supporting a bipartisan bill if it passes three tests for me. One is it has to be true infrastructure. I mean, we have failing bridges and worn-out roadways. We need to do things with our waterways, our airports, our ports. That has to be true infrastructure. Number two, it has to be paid for. Can't be gimmicky. We can't add more money to the credit card, so it has to be true pay-fors. And then number three is it cannot touch the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, which gave us the best economy in my lifetime. So if we can do that, stay on true infrastructure and not raise taxes and focus and have it paid for legitimately, I think there's going to be a lot of support.
All right, so how do you pay for it legitimately? The president isn't keen on raising the gas tax. He's not keen on a mileage tax that would impact those with these electric vehicles and such. You guys are opposed to reopening the tax act and maybe putting a kibosh on some of that. So where are we?
Well, number one, it's interesting that with the terms of the gas tax, people in Wyoming feel that their gas prices have gone up dramatically, and that's Joe Biden's inflation that we've seen because of all this government spending. I mean, it's $20 more to fill up now in Wyoming than it was the day that Joe Biden took office. So people all across the country are paying more, except for the people driving electric vehicles, and Joe Biden wants to subsidize them. Well, they do a lot of wear and tear on the roads. There has to be some user's fee related to electric vehicles. And then in terms of money that's available, there's been money appropriated for coronavirus relief that still hasn't gone out the door, still hasn't been spent on anything, and there's hundreds of billions of dollars that's available that could be repurposed. In Rob Portman's home state of Ohio, they're just looking for flexibility. They have lots of money left over they want to use for infrastructure. I think we ought to give the states the flexibility to use that coronavirus money that way.
So you're against raising fees on anything. You're against, obviously, raising taxes. So you guys still seem far apart on that key issue.
Well, I think electric vehicles ought to be paying a fee for using the roads. They're getting subsidized. Joe Biden wants to subsidize rich people in electric vehicles while people in Wyoming are paying more for gasoline to fill up their vehicles. But in terms of infrastructure, I think there are things that we can do that are true infrastructure. You know, a lot of the Democrats want this $7 trillion massive bullet train to socialism with all of these liberal plans in the Green New Deal, all of it. And they want to do a massive tax increase, which will absolutely hit every American if they do this. And it'd be a party line vote. I don't expect to see one Republican supporting it.
So real quickly, though, Republicans are no strangers to spending a lot of money, though, right? You'll acknowledge at least that. It didn't start with this administration, right?
Well, we have a $30 trillion debt in this country. I'm hearing more and more about it at home. We just have come through a pandemic, a global pandemic. We did in bipartisan ways a number of coronavirus relief bills to help an economy. When the government stepped in and said, we're going to shut down the economy, it was appropriate to do it that time. This is not a time to raise taxes,
then, right?
as we're coming out of
that debt. We were building up that debt before that, right, Senator? I mean, we can go back and forth on this, but it seems that each party has had its hand in spending a lot of money that we don't have.
And I'm just saying that in terms of for my support, and I was one of the people that originally met with President Biden on infrastructure, the 6 ranking members of the committees who met with him at the White House said we're not going to touch the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. We're not going to add more to the credit card for infrastructure at this point.
Got it. Senator, thank you very much. Good seeing you again, Senator.